In the quiet neighborhoods of Illinois, far from the grandeur of Rome, or the echo of cathedral bells, a humble family once nurtured a boy who would one day shepherd millions. Their story was never written in headlines or carved into marble, but in prayerful nights, acts of service, and the kind of love that lays a foundation for greatness. Behind every vocation is a voice, often gentle and constant, the voice of a mother who believes, who prays, who sacrifices. And behind the man now called Pope, there lived a woman of deep devotion and quiet strength, Mildred Agnes Prevost. This is not just a story of a future pontiff, but of the people who formed him, of a mother and father who lived simply, loved faithfully, and unknowingly raised a son for the world. Robert Francis Prevost exhibited a deep inclination toward the priesthood from an early age. Growing up in Dalton, a suburb bordering Chicago's South Side, he was affectionately known as Bob or Rob. He was actively involved in his local parish, St. Mary of the Assumption in nearby Riverdale, where he attended school, sang in the choir, and served as an altar boy. His early devotion was evident as he often play-acted the Mass at home with his brothers, using an ironing board as an altar and candies as communion wafers. In 1969, Prevost enrolled at St. Augustine Seminary High School, a minor seminary near Saugatuck, Michigan. During his time there, he consistently achieved academic excellence, earning a letter of commendation, appearing on the honor roll, serving as editor-in-chief of the yearbook, secretary of the student council, and being a member of the National Honor Society. He also participated in speech and debate competitions. After high school, he pursued a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics at Villanova University, graduating in 1977. He then earned a Master of Divinity from the Catholic Theological Union in Chicago in 1982. During his studies, he taught physics and math at St. Rita of Cassia High School in Chicago. Furthering his education, he obtained both a licentiate and doctorate in canon law from the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome, completing his doctoral thesis on the role of the local prior in the Order of St. Augustine. Louis Marius Prevost, Pope Leo XIV father, has French and Italian roots, according to Vatican News. He was born in Chicago, according to his obituary. After receiving a degree from Woodrow Wilson Jr. College in 1940, he moved on to DePaul University and earned a Master of Arts degree in 1949. His future wife graduated from the same education program in the same year, per the Chicago Tribune. Louis Marius Prevost was a World War II veteran, having served in the Navy, per NBC, and later worked as a school superintendent in Chicago. During his career, Louis Marius Prevost also worked as a principal at Mount Carmel High School and superintendent of Glenwood District 167, the Chicago Tribune reports. The publication also notes that the father of three served as president of the Altar and Rosary Society at St. Mary of the Assumption and helped the parish distribute 1,000 free polio vaccines. Louis Marius Prevost died in 1997. His obituary lists him as a member of his local Lions Club. Pope Leo XIV mother, Mildred Martinez, has Spanish roots, per Vatican News. She was born in Chicago in 1912, according to an electronic birth record obtained by the New York Times. Martinez's parents, Joseph Martinez and Louise Backey, originally lived together in New Orleans and had Creole roots. Martinez grew up in Chicago with 5 sisters, according to the Chicago Tribune. Religious faith was clearly important for the family as 2 of her sisters went on to become nuns. Martinez earned a master's degree in education and worked as a librarian at Mendel Catholic High School. She died in 1990. Her obituary notes that she was the prior president of the St. Mary Altar and Rosary Society. A gifted vocalist, she was known for singing Ave Maria, and took part in the 1941 Chicagoland Music Festival. Mildred was also active in parish life, serving in leadership roles at their local church. Pope Leo XIV, born Robert Francis Prevost, is the youngest of 3 brothers. Louis Martin Prevost, a U.S. Navy veteran who later specialized in computer technology. He currently resides in Florida. John Joseph Prevost, a retired Catholic school educator and principal, he spent over 2 decades shaping the lives of young students. He still lives in the Chicago area. The 3 brothers grew up in a devout Catholic environment, heavily influenced by the example of their parents and extended family, including aunts who were Catholic nuns. The Prevost family lived in Dalton, Illinois, a working-class suburb just south of Chicago. Their home life was centered on faith, discipline, and community service. Robert showed signs of a spiritual calling from an early age. He attended St. Mary of the Assumption School in nearby Riverdale, where he was active as an altar server, a choir singer, and a devoted parishioner. As a child, he would often mimic the celebration of Mass at home, using household items to recreate the altar, and even handing out candies as communion to his brothers. His mother encouraged this budding devotion, without ever pressuring him to pursue a religious vocation. At just 14 years old, Robert enrolled in St. Augustine Seminary High School, a minor seminary near Saugatuck, Michigan. There, he excelled academically and emerged as a student leader, serving as editor-in-chief of the yearbook, secretary of the student council, and a member of the National Honor Society. His experiences at the seminary deepened his spiritual commitment and intellectual formation. He went on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from Villanova University in 1977, followed by a Master of Divinity from the Catholic Theological Union in Chicago in 1982. During this time, he taught math and physics at a local high school and became involved with the Order of St. Augustine. Recognizing his calling to a deeper religious life, he pursued advanced theological studies. Pope Leo XIV, Robert Francis Prevost, was deeply shaped by his parents' faith and example, but unfortunately neither of them lived to see him become a bishop. His mother, Mildred Agnes Prevost, passed away in 1990. His father, Louis Marius Prevost, died in 1997. Robert Prevost was appointed Bishop of Chiclayo, Peru in 2014, which was many years after both his parents had passed away. His parents could attend the following important events: his ordination as a priest in 1982, his missionary work in Peru, where he served from 1985 onwards, his role in formation and leadership within the Order of St. Augustine, eventually becoming Prior Provincial and later Prior General, the highest international role in the order.
A mother's reflection, Mildred Agnes Prevost on her son's calling. I still remember the small feet that ran through our home in Dalton, Illinois, the patter of laughter echoing through the rooms as my youngest, Robert, lined up his toy soldiers like altar servers and turned our dining room table into his little sanctuary. He would drape a towel over his shoulders, lift a cookie like a host, and with eyes full of wonder, whisper words only heaven could fully understand. From the time he was a boy, I saw something in Robert, a quiet depth, a longing to love, and a heart drawn to God. I never pushed him toward the priesthood. No, that's not how true vocations are born. But I prayed. I prayed constantly that all my sons would grow into men of honor, of purpose, of faith. Robert. He walked that path with an uncommon peace. When he told me at 14 that he wanted to go to the seminary, I was proud, but I also wept. A mother's heart is torn between letting go and holding on. But I knew his life belonged to God even more than to me. I watched him grow through seminary, through long nights of study and silent retreats. I heard his voice break with emotion the day he took his vows with the Augustinians. And when he was ordained in 1982, I was there, heart full, eyes brimming, hands clasped in prayer. I watched my son, now Father Robert, lift the chalice with trembling hands. I could almost see the child he once was, and the man God had shaped him to be. Though I never lived to see him wear a bishop's mitre, that doesn't grieve me. I had already seen him carry the weight of souls with humility, serve the poor in Peru with joy, and love the church with everything he had. Titles don't make a shepherd, the heart does. And my Robert always had a shepherd's heart. If heaven allows, I still watch him. I still pray for him. And I thank God every day for the privilege of being his mother.